Idaho Center? I mean, did you guys look at those options?
Yeah, I mean, believe me, I wanted it here. It's, nothing harder in college basketball than playing on the road. And, I've played some games at University of Washington, and it is a hard place to play. Great atmosphere, one of the best there is. And I'd much rather have them coming here. So, no, we explored every option. But, you got, with the tournament here, you got a tough situation because our whole staff has to be here to help with that too. So kind of limited our options.
What are your thoughts on playing Washington? You obviously, saw them earlier in the season, but they're a much different team than the one you probably saw 6 months ago.
Well, that seems like a lifetime ago. And, we had a great, it was really good for both teams, the scrimmage was. And, I have a lot of respect for Mike and his program. And he did a terrific job. He was Pac-12 Coach of the Year. And, they were on the cusp of being in the NCAA tournament. And they got great players. That zone drove people mad this year. They had a lot of good wins. And I've just been really, really impressed with the job he's done there. And he and I have stayed in touch over the year on, a little bit here and there on, the things that he's been doing. And he texts me when we'd have some great wins and things like that. So a lot of respect for their program. And, it's going to be a heck of a game.
Seems like kind of similar to last year in the sense that you get a road game, tough venue against a Pac-12, came up with one of the better performances. So what can you draw from what you guys did last year at Utah for this one?
Well, it's hard to compare them, until you play it and see what happens. But, we just know that we're going to play a great game. And, interesting, there's some rule changes that might come into effect in a game like this. All of a sudden, the three-point line's farther back against a team that's zoned. So, rats. But, NIT, I really like the rules, playing those quarters, and we'll see how those other ones play up this year. But, like I said, we're going to have to just play a great game against them because they're a team they've gotten better and better as the year went on. And, they got really, really good players. They're comfortable in their system, and they're playing good. And you throw on top of that, it's one of the toughest places to play in the Pac-12.
You joke around about the rule changes, but I mean, how much time are you gonna have to spend on that before Wednesday?
Well, not much. I mean, because the key's wider. I mean, what are you gonna do? Tape a wider key and say the key's wider? So not much you can do there. With the line though, we'll have to adjust a little bit, and because you don't want to be making a bunch of 19-footers, and the worst shot in basketball now became farther back. So. We have to, we have to adjust to that, and we will. We'll just slap a line down and, kind of get adjusted. Guys like to, you go play in NBA arenas, guys love to shoot the NBA three, so it lowers the percentage though.
Well, how do you think the quarters will change things?
Well, you saw it last year, Bob. I think it was great, and it just makes the game flow pretty good. And I like that bonus rule or no bonus rule. That seems to make, it's not a parade to the free throw line like we had maybe our last home game here. I think it makes for a better game. Was
this thing a no-brainer for you guys in terms of playing in the NIT? I mean, as far as
the NIT, look at the teams in this thing. I mean, they kept flashing. We were sitting watching it together as a group, and all these teams kept flashing up, and you're just like, man, there's good teams. And then the next team flashed up. There's another good team, and the next team flashed up. And so, it's a really good field, and that's parity is real in college basketball. It is, and look at the team we're playing. They beat Arizona. They had a lot of great Pac-12 wins. They beat Kansas. There you go. I mean, that tells you that parity is real, and so if you're a team that made the NCAA or made the NIT, you're a really good basketball team. We all shoot for that NCAA tournament, but we're playing in a great tournament with a lot of good teams.
Is there any doubt all the automatic bids get a spot if they don't win their conference, and then you're in the last group that got released? I mean, did you ever actually get to a point where you wondered if you were going to make it in?
I did. I mean, because you just never know, and you don't get any feedback, and so I'm learning at the same time everybody else is learning, and so all of a sudden you do start to like, wow, what if we got overlooked, and what if they found something that they didn't, and what if not having the building was going to affect you. You just never know what they're looking at and what they're dealing with. And so, yeah, once it popped up, it was exciting to get in.
What about the mindset of the team? Obviously, you know, you come into a tournament like this, and it's kind of which team wants to be here. Maybe it's a team that has a chance, like a bowl game almost. How do you feel this team is going to embrace this opportunity?
Oh, I think we're excited. You know, one of the neat things, like Lexus has had experience of going to Madison Square Garden, and if you're a team that can be good enough to make it there and fortunate to get there, it's a historic experience. And so, you know, he gave talked to the team about that, and so that's it. Probably gives you a lot of motivation and excitement to play. And these guys love each other, and they love being around each other, and so hopefully they can rally and play with great energy and great enthusiasm.
It's a similar question, but I mean, you guys have so many times this year talked about the bond of this team. Mm-hmm. It's win or go home. I mean, there is no tomorrow. So how do you figure that might help you guys?
Well, death has a way of making you appreciate things more. You know, I mean, it really does. The gravely ill find a lot of great things about life, and that's where you are at this time of season. Whether you're in the NCAA tournament, NIT tournament, you're 40 minutes away from never playing together again. And you know that this team wants to keep playing together, and so they're going to give it all they have, no question. But like I said, we're up against a great team. That's you're playing on their court, and you're gonna in front of their fans, and you're gonna have to play your perfect game.
Hutch had struggled in that last game last year against San Diego State, and then had 34 in the NIT. Struggled a little bit in the last game. Would you take 34 again on Wednesday?
Yeah, you just never know where it's going to come from with these guys. But the one thing that we do have right now is we got some pretty good balance. Some other guys are playing good too, so it's not going to be where if he scores 40 we win. If he doesn't, we lose. I think we've those other guys have stepped up a bit too. So we're getting Lexus. His last 2 games has been terrific, and on and on and on. Christian and Justinian shooting the ball well. Alex gave us good minutes off the bench. Marcus has been pretty steady all season, and so we got a lot of weapons. But yeah, I'd take it.
I know it doesn't directly impact you by any means, but just for the city, just to see the teams that are coming here for the NCAA tournament. I mean, how cool is that just for the city for basketball?
Well, it does directly impact me, and we've got Mark and I are best friends, and that was 11 years there. So it is pretty neat that Gonzaga is going to be here, and they'll bring a great following. Plus, they already have a great following here in the Treasure Valley, and then you got Kentucky, Arizona, and Ohio State, and Davidson's a really good team, and South Dakota State,
Mike
and
Dunn.
then yeah. So you got one of the premier players in the country, and then one of our former players, Kyle Bankhead, is an assistant coach that on the other bench from Gonzaga. So you got all kinds of neat things, but so happy for the city of Boise. What a neat, you couldn't ask for. I mean, if you got to draft the teams that you wanted to pick, these 4 might be in the consideration.
And I know you don't get to use the same court, but you do get a smaller logo in the corner, and it's going to say Boise. And those, with the 2 evening games with Kentucky or Arizona are on regular, primetime CBS. I mean, what's this do for? Is there any advantage just to get Boise and Boise State's name out there?
Well, we talk about our arena and how big time it is, and now people get to see it nationally, and that's kind of neat, So. I think that's always good. There is no, when they get to see how good it looks on TV and how good the arena looks right now, it's impressive. And so, it'll be fun. So we'll be gone, it sounds like, but, hopefully we'll still be out on the road. And but I'm really happy for the city of Boise and the people that got tickets for this get to see some amazing basketball teams and, a potential national champion in one of these 4.